What if we stopped pretending that selling mugs on Etsy was a quick way to get rich? And what if we stopped pretending that t-shirts aren't saturated? And what if we stopped listening to people that said we could make $5,493 per month selling super simple t-shirt designs online? When I say these things in this way, they sound quite silly, but if I'm being honest, many people believe that these three things are the best way to make real money with print on demand in the year 2025 and beyond. I started my first print-on-demand store in 2016. Personally, I have had several. I've even sold print-on-demand stores before. I have also worked with hundreds of other people helping them to start their stores. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 steps that I've used to grow new print-on-demand stores to 10K in sales per month in their first 90 days. If you are just getting started, I would advise you to use my free course along with these 7 steps. Down in the description, you can access my Print on Demand for Dummies training. It is completely free. Inside are over 30 videos showing you how to build your store and get started with social media marketing. As we go through these 7 steps, I'm going to show you some examples of some things, but if there's something specific that you want me to make a future video about and go in more depth, let me know down in the comments. Many of these things I have also already created content on, so definitely make sure to check out some of my other videos. The first thing we're talking about is that I would make my own store. That is step 1. You are launching your own thing, something that you own and not selling on a print-on-demand platform like Etsy or Amazon. The reason for that is because it's going to take you a very long time in order to get traffic or traction with your store on one of those platforms. You're also going to need many designs. You're also going to want to likely try many different niches, and with your own store, you can start with a handful of designs and you could focus on just one niche if you wanted to. The key here though with your own store is that you own it and you can fully use the power of social media to drive traffic to your store. If you're selling on Amazon or on Etsy and using social media, there's a very high chance that a lot of the traffic you might send to your listings would also leave your listings and go check out someone else's. With your own store, you can fully utilize that traffic because once they're on your store, there's no other stores for them to see. The second thing is you're not going to have to deal with platform saturation. At this point, places like Amazon and Etsy are very popular, but they're also very difficult for new people to get started. Many people end up burning themselves out, creating dozens or even hundreds of designs just to get some viewers in the search results. And the bad part is if you ever stop creating new designs, your traffic will likely slow down as well. Step 2 here is all about your product line. After you've committed to building out your own store, you're going to want to build your product line. This means choosing your niche, selecting some products, and making a handful of designs. To me, the niche is always the thing that's going to dictate your future success. In this video here, I recently dove into how I go about choosing niches, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. The point though is that you need a specific market to sell to. Without a niche, you don't have anybody specific that you are actually creating stuff for. Your niche unlocks passion and emotion and ultimately gets people interested in your stuff. What I would say is if you are just starting your store, less is more at the beginning. The goal should be for you to get your product line done fast so that way you can get open and begin testing. Every time I launch a print-on-demand store, I try to launch with about 10 or so designs. Your next step after you actually have your product line created, remember like I said, less is more at the beginning. You will be moving forward to actually building your store. This part is honestly not as hard as you might think. Like I said, I do have a free print-on-demand course. It's called POD for Dummies. Inside, I have a whole bunch of Shopify tutorials to show you what to do. Ultimately, though, I want to answer some big questions that many beginners have. The first is when it comes to the name of your store. Obviously, depending on what you're doing, what niches you're trying, what products you're selling, that could impact your name a little bit. For me, I like to make domain names that are maybe about 10 letters or a couple of words or something like that. I try not to overcomplicate it, and in many cases, I will actually try using a .store domain. According to recent studies, .store domains gave websites 87% more traffic and a 2 times higher ranking in Google search. Right now, there is over 1 million users using .store domains. People like Michelle Obama, Mariah Carey, Mr. Beast, Maroon 5, even Rihanna are also using .store domains on their web stores. And ultimately, in a lot of cases, if the .com that you would like to use is not available, you could probably find it available as a .store. Down in the pinned comment of this video, I do have a promo code where you can get a .store domain for a very cheap price for your first year. The second thing about your store is your logo. Now, a logo is one of those things that you definitely want to keep simple. For me, it's typically just some text and an icon. I would definitely avoid adding any slogans or catchphrases or anything else that would distract from the name of your store. Most cases, you want it to be as clean and simple as possible. You'll also want to spend some time making some great images for your site. I've shown in other videos here on my channel how to go about doing that. You could also use Placeit for mockups. Not only does Placeit have mockups for some of your typical print-on-demand products like t-shirts and mugs, but whether you're selling sportswear, leggings, and sports bras, or even print-on-demand wall art of all different kinds, Placeit is going to have tons of different mockups where you can easily just upload your design and create fantastic images for your store. Placeit recently gave a promo code to members of my Facebook group. I'll also drop that down in the pinned comment below. It gets you a 15% discount on all of Placeit's plans. The key though with your store is that you're going to want to make it human. Sometimes I see people create stores and they feel very awkward. They type things on the store that don't sound natural, or they just don't type anything at all and they just have all of their products on there and it doesn't feel like a legitimate brand. The goal of your store is to get someone who's never seen you before interested in buying your stuff and to get them to trust your store. And in most cases, that is done with a human element, great images, and great designs. Next is you're going to need your social media pages. Now, personally, I always am creating a Facebook and an Instagram page for my stores. Of course, if you wanted to create a Twitter or X or Pinterest or any other platform that you think your buyers could be on, that could be something you do. Personally, I use Facebook and Instagram. Inside of the POD for Dummies course, like I mentioned, I do have some setup videos if you don't know how to create a Facebook page or an Instagram account. The key though is you're going to want to name your account something similar to your store. It can be the same exact name, but it does not have to be. As long as your page has something to do with your niche or the products you're selling, as long as it's very similar to the name of your store, it doesn't have to be an exact match. In some cases, the username on Instagram, for example, that you want to perfectly match your store name might not be available, but at the end of the day, that is not a massive deal. And at this point, our store is built, we have our social media pages, and it is time to start marketing. This is the part that many people believe to be the most difficult part of print on demand. If I'm being honest though, this is probably the easiest part. Everything you've done so far, choosing your store name and making a logo and building out a product line and actually building a store that looks good, is the hard part of print on demand. So congrats if you have made it this far. Ultimately, when it comes to marketing and social media, what we're basically doing is just trying to put our products in front of members of our niche. Obviously, there's a lot of ways that we can do this. One of the ways that I recently used to launch a new store and get it to 10K per month in its first 90 days was influencer marketing. This is basically you just partnering with content creators inside of your niche to promote your products. The idea would be to try to find as many of them as possible and send them a message. Essentially, you're going to want to introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about your store and that you'd love to partner with them, and ask them if they do any promotional posts. If they say yes, your goal is to send them a free sample of one of your products. In most cases, I will just let them pick one of the items that I have for sale on my store. I will process the order for them so that way they don't have to pay for it. And the goal is to continue building a relationship with them, to continue to talk to them and explore other ways that we could partner together. Once they receive the item, the goal is for them to maybe post an unboxing video of the product, or even just a photo or a video showing it to their followers. The idea here is to partner with people that have between 10 and 100,000 followers on social media. Ultimately, we don't want to partner with people that are much too big, because in most cases, they probably won't want to promote our things in exchange for just a free sample. Personally, I have had a lot of luck with influencers that are around the 50,000 follower mark. In some cases, you could also offer the influencer commissions on any sales that they generate. This is something where the sales can begin to add up very quickly, because if you're working with 4 or 5 or even just like 6 different content creators and each one of them has tens of thousands of followers, and they're all posting photos of your products, you're likely going to be getting a lot of traffic to your store. And if you've done everything that I talked about at the beginning of this video correctly and well, you're probably going to be making sales. This, to me, is the fastest way that I have grown a new print-on-demand store. Obviously, as time goes on, you could continue to work with even more content creators. One key tip, though, would be that as content creators are posting product photos and videos of your stuff, you should be downloading those and trying to integrate them into your store in some way. You could also repost them on your own social media accounts. One really great thing as well is that as you're working with influencers and they're tagging your social media in their posts, you're likely going to be gaining followers quite quickly as well. So as those people are following you, you could reach out to them and thank them for the follow. You could tell them about some of your products, and you could even post pictures and run different promotions on your own page and likely generate even more sales. Ultimately, to me, this is a much quicker path that's going to lead to a much greater long-term potential than selling print-on-demand products on Amazon or on Etsy. This gives you your own brand, something you own. You begin to have a following. This becomes an asset for you. This is the way that I have done print-on-demand since 2016. And like I said, if you'd like to see some training from me on how to actually set up your store, make sure to check out the POD for Dummies course. It's linked down below. Like I said, it is completely free. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or if there's anything I went through today that you want me to go through in more depth, just let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.